The markets experienced a surge last week. The S&P 500 index rallied 3,000 points for the first time since March. But let's not be quick and think the recovery is already happened. The stock market is not always the best gauge of our economic standing. You need to look at the whole economy, not just the market. Consider businesses, bankruptcies, strength of the dollar, and permanent unemployment. You need to understand that going to stocks is just as easy as getting out of stocks. It's not a permanent business investment. S&P is a reflection of speculations, not actual business conditions. Think about that. The economy, it encompasses total goods, services, across the whole nation, professions, income levels. Indexes like the S&P only track business prospects of very large corporations. This is why large corporations are hardly affected. The small businesses are the ones that are devastated right now. Unfortunately, there's a lot more small businesses than there are large corporations. That's because the S&P investors can quickly deploy certain stimulus to roll out specific tactics to push up the S&P. The economy as a whole requires long-term financial planning. So what we need to watch out for are the long-term effects. For example, permanent unemployment is still undetermined, and it will be for a long time. Many businesses are shifting their operations and point of sales from store to online, and others are just shutting down altogether. Many schools are going to go online with their classes. This will not affect just the employees of the companies, but the actual business that rely on this income. For example, restaurants and stores whose primary customers are from schools and companies. They're going to have a significant discount in the amount of money they're going to make. There are towns and cities, colleges, tech companies, a lot of small businesses. These are all getting affected by what's happening right now. So what does an investor do? Particularly someone that's looking long-term. Are you a long-term investor? It's important to stick to a safe and diversified plan. Don't just invest short-term and look at what's happening short-term. Look long-term. Diversification means different types of assets. It could be stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, metals. And sometimes it's important to rebalance your portfolio. If you have 60% stocks, you may want to consider some of that in metals. Metals like stocks are a long-term investment, and that's why most of the major banks are moving into metals right now. They're rebalancing. What metals have over stocks is its stability during economic crashes. So by you rebalancing, maybe you sell off a little stock, you move it into metals, you're going to shield your way from this very volatile economy. And the other thing about metals, similar to stocks, is that if metals take a run and you want to move back into stocks, let's say stocks finally hit their floor, which I don't believe that they have, then you can move right back in there. They're equally as liquid. That's the beauty behind physical metals. They're one of the most liquid assets in the world. I think it's important to understand what this video is talking about. It's talking about that the S&P, the indexes, and the economy are separate. And what we're going to need with S&P having its fluctuations, and yeah, it had a nice week last week, the economy is going to need a lot of long-term planning. And so what we're discussing is looking at those two entities separately and realizing in the long term, we're going to need a lot of planning. There's going to be a lot of things that need to happen. And we've seen a dynamic shift. So is it time for you to rebalance what you're doing and your thinking? And if you are looking to do that and you'd like to learn about what we do here at Noble Gold Investments, check out our website, which is noblegoldinvestments.com, and get our free information about protecting your IRA or just getting some physical metals delivered to your doorstep. I hope this was informative and looking forward to talking to you again in our next video.